How's it going, you lot? Just having a little walk down this lovely little path. Oh look, what's this? Somebody's left a savage. Oh look, even a tool bag. Let's go up there and see if we can give it a go. It's amazing what you find on the floor these days. It's not all Johnnies and needles. Now I've never been here before, so I don't know. Them bins cost about £450 to buy, those bins do, for the council. Made in England, up north somewhere. Right. Apparently there's a lot of tents in the woods, so we need to be careful. Got to have our wits about us. But we should be alright, hopefully. Wow. This is brilliant. Quite a bit of growth going on, but we can ignore that. I mean, that would be perfect. Make the old savage work hard. Right. Ow. Lovely jubbly. Look at this. Absolutely amazing. Nature's out in full force today. Can't see a dicky bird because of that sun. Can't see any tents in that direction. There's meant to be quite a few in that field, in that woods over there. So, we have to be watching our backs today. The old trees are doing well. So let's give this a go. So the last time I ran this savage, I don't know how it ended up over there on the path in front of that gate. Don't know, it's just magic. But anyway, the last time I ran it, I had a bit of an issue with it. Now that issue was me. I completely and utterly forgot that the slipper clutch even existed, let alone that I needed to do it up. Now one of the things, it's funny because I've done videos on it in the past, but one of the things that I always do, and that you should do as well, is the slipper clutch, do it up. Tighten it up as tight as you can possibly get it, because they slip, and that's what they're designed to do. They're called a slipper clutch. They're designed to slip, and as far as I understand, the reason for that is so it takes a lot of the shock and the stress and the pressure out of the gearbox, basically. So the clutch slips and it takes up the stress. It doesn't strip out your gearbox or put a load of stress on the bearings or whatever. None of that I care about, because that robs all your power. Imagine on your car if you were slipping the clutch all the time. You wouldn't have no power, would you? So what I always do is do that bolt up, that nut up, I mean, not the bolt, the nut, because it's a nut. Do it up as tight as you possibly can, so that clutch doesn't slip anymore. It's just one solid unit. But I completely forgot all about it. Completely and utterly forgot. So the other time, no, weeks ago now, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when I was out and it was going along there and it was changing gear fine, and then all of a sudden it started just going, it wasn't changing gear, because that clutch was slipping. That little nut was as loose as you can imagine. It was about to fall off and go down the road for breakfast. So I've done it up now. Let's see what happens. Right, if you lot want to be in with a chance to win a gift voucher for Wheel Spin Models and Hobbies, all you got to do is subscribe to this channel. It could be of any value. Even I, at this particular moment, I haven't got a clue what the value is going to be. Could be £10, 20, 30, 40. What's the highest they go to? I think it's 500 quid is the highest the gift vouchers go to. It could be that, right? All you got to do is subscribe. I mean, look at it this way, right? You don't spend any money, no money whatsoever. You press that button, bloop, and hopefully like the video and hype it up. right? And any of them, you can subscribe from any video on this channel, right? And then that means you automatically get entered. And then spontaneously, and once you are subscribed, right, it doesn't mean that you're entering this one giveaway and that's it. You're entering all of them forevermore, right? So you could win this one, you could win the next one, and the next one potentially, because you don't get taken out of the list once you've won one. You stay on that list. So, you know, you could spend no money and end up, well, I suppose the worst case scenario is you just don't win anything, in which case you're no worse off. But if you do win, it could be a tenner. You could spend no money, subscribe, and you win a tenner. You can spend it in wheel spin models. You could win 20. You could win 500 quid. What would you get? You could get one of them nearly. You could get the 4.6 for 500 quid. That's some change left over. Amazing, eh? It's a wealth of opportunities. Right, so I put a bit of nitro in here. The ironic thing is, I've done a whole bit talking away here. I didn't even press record. So, the bit that you've missed is I put some nitro fuel in. And I was chatting a load of rubbish. So it's probably good that you missed it, to be fair. It's a bit of primage. Up a bit. Always really important to let any engine, it doesn't matter what it is, it could be a nitro engine, could be a petrol engine, a diesel engine, could be a steam engine, I don't know. Always let them warm up. Imagine if you was in bed and all of a sudden, well, those of you that have been in the army probably, and the navy and any other military force, you probably know what this is like, and you're probably used to it. But to anyone else, if you're in bed and you get woken up all of a sudden from no choice of your own, or maybe it is your choice, maybe you set an alarm, and you've got to instantly just run, instantly sprint, right? You're at high risk of pulling a muscle, man. You could pull a muscle, you could tear a muscle, you could do anything like that. That's massive risk. So it's the same thing with an engine. You start it up from cold, it's just woken up, and now you're full throttle or you're driving it. The risk of it, you can't spin a bearing with a nitro engine, but the risk of it damaging a bearing, you know, scoring the bore or the liner, sleeve, whatever you call it, is quite high. So letting it warm up, letting all the bits get some heat in them, expand a bit, tolerances get a bit bigger, and then we can apply some power, and then we can see what happens. Let's see whether this gearbox wants to change gear now. Hopefully it will do, because I hate gearboxes. Hate gearboxes with a passion. Well, that's not a good sign, is it? I don't know what it is with gearboxes, man. Why don't they ever want to change gear? Bit wet out there. I think there's probably some dews about. Well, Bloody blimey. If I'm honest, I've got absolutely, this is me being honest now, I've got absolutely no, what's the word? I haven't got a care for gearboxes, I really haven't. And that one now doesn't want to change gears, so the trouble is that's not my car, right? And I can't give it to that mate of mine knowing that it doesn't change gear. So I've got to try and make it work. What a bastard. Why did they invent gearboxes? Why can't we just have no gearbox? Let's just have an engine that goes into thin air and it works. That'd be perfect. Right, I'll play around with it, try and get it to work. It worked fine out of the box. And then all you lot said to me, oh, take it apart and put thread lock on it, because that's what I've done, and that don't work. Yeah, I'm blaming you, that's what I'm doing. Bloody gearbox. Right, just fast forward 6,500 years while I play around with this, trying to get it to work, and then we'll come back. Gearboxes, bloody gearboxes. Some of you probably ask, right, what's the matter with gearboxes, right? Why don't you like gearboxes? Well, if you've ever spent any amount of time with gearboxes, right? I used to spend a lot of time around motorbikes. Did a bit of proper motocross, but I rode dirt bikes ever since I was a kid. And stupidly, what are you doing? Stupidly, at one point I decided to try and start a little business mending motorbikes. People would give me their dirt bikes and other motorbikes and say, most of the time it was gearboxes, most of the time. Wouldn't go into gear, popping out of gear, slipping out of gear, whatever. Clutches gone. Clutches are easy, they're alright. Or, with a motorbike, in order to get the piston out and the crankshaft out, you've got to split the case. So you have to take the gearbox apart. They're a pain in the arse. They're the most stupidest thing in the world. Yeah, if you understand it, but I just don't understand them. Right? Trying to get them all back together. And these things, they're a simple design. It's just a few cogs and a couple of little clutch things that pop out and slip it, lock the gears in place, and that's how you get gear changes. But for some reason, must just be me, once I get them apart, put them back together, I can put them back together exactly how a manual says, and it still won't work. So I've just got no patience for a gearbox. I can take an engine apart, put it all back together, no trouble. Gearboxes, don't care for them. I'll rip that one out right now and throw it in that bush and walk away and not have a single regret. Well, I would do, because it ain't my car, but if it was my car, I'd rip that gearbox out, throw it in that bush over there, and I'd just walk away and go and have a bacon sandwich. I wouldn't care. Anyway, let's see what I can do. Well, I'm having a bit of a bad day, really. Doing that by itself. Right, so this isn't some kind of weird phenomenon. The receiver battery has gone flat. That's what's happened. The receiver, it's heard me saying that I don't like its gearbox, and it's gone, right then, I'll have some revenge on you. And the receiver battery's now gone flat. So that's my fault though, because, well, I didn't charge it. I mean, I didn't really expect to be bringing it out today. But it is what it is. I can't use it without a receiver battery. It's like it's actually impossible. I could try and get some electric out of that tree, maybe. I mean, trees are actually electrically charged, so you can plug stuff into trees, and you can get some electric. It take quite a while to charge, but you can do it. So I might do that. But I've only got about half hour. Anyway, can't do a lot else. I know it's a Monday evening and we've all had a beer or four, but try not to fall over. The legs on the tripod are a bit iffy, so if you move, you might unstable it and you might topple over. So try and sit still. I've got it so it's not going to fall at the moment, hopefully. But the tripod doesn't stay still anymore. The little things that hold the legs are all broken. The tripod's 20 years old. Good, right. Anyway, so I know I keep going on about how much I dislike gearboxes. And I'm not lying, I do dislike gearboxes. But there's no reason, there's no excuse for not mending your gearbox. Now, with this brand spanking new GT6 5.9, I've got the instruction manual here to show you. Now, I was having a jolly good read through this when I unboxed it. Don't think I filmed any of it for you lot, but I wanted to see what the manuals were like these days, because I remember the manuals for the 21 and the 25 and the SS. Well, the SS is a kit build, so we can ignore that. But the 21 and the 25 are jolly good manuals. They explained everything perfectly, and I thought they were very good. And but from reading through this, it's exactly the same. They go through things in a way. It's written in American English, so a lot of the things are in American words, like idle instead of tick over, and there's other phrases as well. But it's very good, and you can literally find out anything you want to find out with this manual. Maybe in this video we'll go through it. I am going to do a whole video looking at the whole truck, the manual, we'll read through it. Maybe I think we'll probably save that for another video. But when I took this gearbox apart, because I had a lot of pressure, and I am blaming you, because the pressure come from you, peer pressure, and I caved into it. Shouldn't have done, but I did. So I took this apart and put thread lock on the little grub screws. But I obviously did something wrong, because ever since I've done that, it doesn't want to change gear. So I cocked up. Now I've got to mend it. So let's take it apart, and I'll show you. It's page 35 in this instruction manual, where it tells you the number of turns, and it tells you how to do it as well. Now you don't need to take the well, everyone's got, what do they call it in here? What do they call it in here? I don't know what they call it. Well, I call it a cluster, right? Probably the wrong name for it, but probably people have different names. But I call that little cluster of gears, I call it a cluster, a gear cluster. That's just my name. Don't know where I got it from, somewhere at some point. You ain't got to take that out in order to adjust the shift points, the points of when it changes gear. And I'm over explaining this because some of you may not know. Right, so it's designed, and the old ones were designed the same way as well, but the old 3-speed gearbox, you did have to take it out to adjust third gear. And then they changed it so you had to take it out to adjust second gear. But on these new ones, this is what I mean. These are, I don't know why, quite a lot of people they dislike HPI. Don't know why. The politics of it and the way that HPI have done things or whatever, I really don't care. And it's got nothing to do with anything that I care about. What I care about is I'm looking for, I found it, I put it in here. I'm looking for, there it is. What I care about is how easy the car, I was looking for the little rubber thing. I took it off the other day and didn't put it back on. I care about how easy the actual truck is to maintain, drive, use, all that kind of stuff, repair. And I think they made a fantastically iconic one with the 21 and 25, and they've refined it, kept a lot of the good features, and they've refined it. So now with this 3-speed box, you haven't got to take anything apart to adjust second and third gear. Alright, and it says so here in the manual. Don't know whether you're going to be able to see it or not, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Well, but I just want to show you, because some of you might not believe me. There's a lot of speculation about the method that they say to do it, right? And I don't necessarily, no, I do it this way, but there was some other methods going around about taking the screw flush and then putting it in, which in my opinion is a load of bollocks, right? Putting the screw all the way in till it don't go no more, and then taking it out a number of turns, 3.5 and 2.5, 3.5 a third, 2.5 a second. I think that's what it states in here as well. 2.5 on third gear, and 3.5, oh, 3.25. 2.25 and 3.25. Alright, so we'll do it to what this one specifies, but on the other one I've done it halves. So yeah, and then taking it out makes a lot more sense to me, because you've got, if you're doing it flush, some people's eyes and some people's fingers might be different, whereas if you put it all the way in, there is no discrepancy. The grub screw's gone in and it ain't going no more. That's it, there is no discrepancy there. The only discrepancy would be on your turns outwards, but if you're stupid enough to not do 2.25 turns correctly, then, well, you need to go and reevaluate your life decisions. So we haven't got to take anything apart, we haven't got to take anything out. All we can do is we do it with that. So, and it's always the lower one. Someone said to me it's the bloody upper one. It ain't the upper one, it's the lower one. I know. That was the missus. A lot of you say, why is she always so grumpy? I don't know why she's always so grumpy, she just is. Right, and it's not the upper one. The upper one has got the little pin in it that holds the clutch. The clutch thing. It holds it there. It's got a grub screw with a long pin, and that goes all the way through. It's the lower one, which is the adjuster. Yeah, it adjusts the tension on the spring. There's a spring and a little ball thing in there. That's the one that adjusts that, because that spring it determines how much centrifugal force is needed to fling out the little clutch fork to grip onto the gear. Anyway, a lot of you probably can't imagine. The only reason I can imagine it is because I know what it looks like. But anyway, so put your car on a little stand or something or another. You need a 2mm. We'll get the best one. That's a 1.5, 2.5, 2mm. You need a 2mm What's-It here, and we find, so I'm doing this by the manual so I can prove it to you and also make sure that I've done it right, because I know nothing about anything and I do everything wrong, and that's the truth. That is the truth. I do everything. Nothing I do is ever right. Just because something works doesn't mean it's right, but in this case it doesn't work, so it's obviously wrong. So we'll do second gear first, and three and a quarter turns. Second gear, 3.25 turns. Right. Let's find it. Let me zoom you in. You're probably never going to be able to see what I'm finding, but maybe you might be able to have a go, I don't know. So second gear is this middle one. Third gear is that one. Alright, so this one's second. So we need to spin that until we find the gap. There it is. And then might need a torch. The only torch I've got is that one. It's going to be, I have to hold it with my chin. I'm trying to make it so that you can see as well as me, but I don't know. Let's have a look. One thing they could have done to make it easier was make these holes bigger, but there you go. Can you see there? Maybe. Right. So we've got to turn that. Well, that's pretty much all the way in, so that doesn't really help. So, what was it? 3 1/4. Right. So, if you can see, there's the logo on my Allen driver. So we're going to turn it out 3 1/4 turns, alright? So 1, 2, 3 1/4. Well, there doesn't seem to be, well, I can't get a purchase on that 3rd gear grub screw, so maybe it's come out. Shouldn't have done, because I put thread lock on it, but that thread lock means nothing, you know. That means nothing at all, thread lock. It can still come out. So I've obviously cocked it up, haven't I, when I've done the thing before. So we're going to have to take the top of the box off, take the cluster out, see what we got going on. Got a little magnetic tray so that we don't lose the bolts, but something's obviously gone on. There's no crunching or anything, so the little screw's not. The only good thing is if the little screw, the little grub screw has come out, it can't be lost because it's inside the box. So we've got to take these screws out and get the roll cage off. I put thread lock on it, so I don't know. If we take it apart, we can see for sure what's going on. And then we can't go wrong, John. Put the air filter up there. And turn this round so it's easier for me. Don't know whether you can see any more or any less, but maybe. Maybe not. I'm still firmly in the belief that these should be built properly from the factory, so I don't really think it's necessary for any of you to be taking this apart when you first buy one and putting any thread lock or anything on them, because I took this one apart and put thread lock on it. Well, see, I've introduced a problem now because I took it apart. If I didn't take it apart, there probably would have been no problem. While we're here, oh look, a lot of grease on there. While we're here, we'll do this up as tight as we can possibly get it. Now what the slipper clutch does is it prevents the transmission or the gearbox from stress or trauma or whatever you want to call it. We always do them up as tight as we can get them. That way there is no slippage. Right, let's see exactly what's going on in this little cluster of gears, shall we? So, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. If you can't, I'm afraid that's just tough. You're just going to have to deal with it. So, I'll turn that one. Where's my torch? Oh, it's in there. Oh, they're both in there. Oh yeah, I thought they would be. Come on, John. 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 Johnny boy. Come on. There we go. This is the most awkwardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Why is everything I try to do turn out to be bloody awkward? Look. I'm so afraid of knocking the tripod. Right. I'll give up with it, but it's in there. Right, it's bloody in there. So, while we got it apart, I need to invest in a better torch, I know. I've had this torch for 22 years. So, more than that actually. Right. There we go. Now I've got a better purchase on it. Right, and that's all the way in as well. How have they worked their way in? That's just mad. Right, so we need, on this one, third gear, we need 2 1/4 it comes out for. So, 1, 2 1/4. Right. I know you're going to say it. I can feel it. I can feel your eyes on the back of my neck, and I can feel you shouting and screaming, now you've moved them, you've got to put more thread lock on them again. I'm just going to go and get the brake cleaner, clean them all out with brake cleaner, put more thread lock on, and we'll put it back together again. The only thing that is a bit of a problem if this grub screw does come out, I've got bloody brake cleaner. I should have put gloves on that. My hands are cut to shreds because I've been out in the garden with the brambles, trying to get the brambles out of the garden, and my hands are absolutely shredded. And I've just got brake cleaner in the thistle, in the holes in my bloody. Anyway, right. So we got. This is the one I use. I use this on all sorts of things. I had this particular bottle for about 20 years. Bought it when I done my first engine build. It's quite rare that I use thread lock, to be fair. In fact, I don't ever use thread lock. Right, so we go all the way in. All the way in. And then we go 2 1/4 turns out. Alright, there's the logo. 1, 2 1/4. Right. Now this isn't going to be driven for probably a week, maybe 2 weeks, so it's not important. Got to let the old thread lock dry, but it's not going to be the end of the world for this one because it isn't going to be driven for a long time. this one. Is it that time already? You going? See you later.
Where's the door?
Why have I got the door open? It's hot. Right, still didn't know my lesson, still gonna go and gloves on. Bit of thread lock. Got to be careful because that spring wanted to come out. Right. Now that one goes all the way in. Bloody hell, is it even going round? It's noisy that's the missus' car, it's bloody noisy. It's got a timing chain on that engine, but as soon as it got to 9,000 miles it started rattling like mad, so I complained to Kia, and after a lot of arguments I was saying at 9,000 miles that chain shouldn't be rattling. I'm going to do 3 1/4 turns. That chain shouldn't be rattling after 9,000 miles like that. And it's just all of a sudden started rattling, and they were saying, no, well, it's timing chain, they do rattle. I said, they rattle. For one, that wasn't rattling from new, and it started at 9,000 miles, just rattling. And the oil, I changed the oil on her car every 3,000 miles, which it rarely gets to, or 6 months. Right? So I do a summer oil change, and I do one just before the winter. So I do one just before the winter, so I ain't got to fanny around in the cold. And I do one as we're coming out of winter going into the summer, so it's sort of fresh oil for summer as well. Do that with all the cars. So it's always got fresh oil. And they said it does rattle, it's a timing chain, chains rattle. I said no, not at 9,000 miles. Bit of arguing, in the end they agreed to put a new chain on it, right? But the problem is, it ain't the chain, it's the tensioner. It's got an oil operated tensioner, so you get oil pressure, pushes the tensioner out, a little piston, hydraulic piston, pushes the tensioner, tensions the chain, stops it rattling, makes it the right tension. And so they agreed to put a new one in, took it into Kia, they had it for a few days. I've got a courtesy car, quite a nice car. So they agreed to do that, and then they made me pay 270 quid, even though I wasn't supposed to be paying anything. Yeah, so it was fine. When we got it back, quiet as a mouse. Not a rattle in sight. So I thought, there we go, that was the problem. About 2 weeks after we got it back from Kia, rattling again like a bag of nails. Right? Whether they actually put a new tensioner on it, I don't know. But they did something, because I looked and they had the engine apart. And it was quiet for about a week. So I don't know what they did, but yeah, bit of a design flaw there, I think. It shouldn't be rattling like that. No, not at that low mileage. I think now, because I drove it for work for a bit, because she got the hump with it. Well, she didn't get the hump with it. she made me sell me my other work van. Oh, well, you don't need a van. I said, I'm not taking the other car, take my car. So I did, and it was absolutely destroying it. But anyway, I think it's on something silly like 20,000 miles now. It's how old is it? I think it's about 17, 18 years old, that car. Something like that. And it's rattling like no tomorrow. Don't know why companies can't just make something decent, you know? Anyway, let's get this back together. We're not here to talk about real cars, we're here to talk about nitro cars. So, why won't this go back together? I'll tell you why it won't go back together. Because I've left the screws in, because I thought it might be easy. What happens is they get in the way. There we go. So now, you lot see me do it. You know that I've done it, because a lot of you don't believe a word I say. That is now set to the right specs that it should have come with at the factory. Right, and this was changing gear like an absolute dream when it was out of the box, before I took it apart the first time under peer pressure from you lot. Why won't this go back together? What's going on here? That's in there properly, isn't it? There's some dowels in there that help to locate it, get it in the right place, but you've got to... Oh, come on, John! This went together like a dream the first time. Yeah. I got it round the wrong way, right? No, I bloody can't have it round the wrong way. What the bloody hell? Ah! Right, all this along here and all that there, all in there. I grabbed onto a bramble. I had leather gloves on, right? I grabbed onto this big bramble and I pulled on it. Nothing happened. I pulled a bit of bramble. I went and got the other hand on it, pulled on it again, right? And all the thorns went through my leather glove. This is a thick bramble. And all in there, right? Oh! Stupid me said, whatever. Carried on, right? And when I got in, this hand throbbing like bloody mad. I sat there for about half an hour with tweezers, pulling out all the thorns and little prickles. They'd all broken off, hadn't they, in there? But it's bloody, and now I've got brake cleaner in it. God, man alive. I should wear gloves. I mean, brake cleaner's not good for your skin anyway, regardless of whether you've got holes in your skin or not. Right, something's not right with this, because it should go straight in. So I've cocked it up again, haven't I? What have I cocked up this time? I've cocked it up, I've cocked it up. I've got a sledgehammer somewhere, I might have to go and get it. John? Got that sledgehammer? Did I tell you that I don't like gearboxes? No, I did. Well, I thought I'd just let you know. Yeah? I'll just let you know. Just so that you're aware, you know. It's nice to communicate, yeah. Oops. God, the first time I've done this, it literally just slotted in like no tomorrow. It just went plop. Sledgehammer time, John. Do you reckon that's done it? Scare it to death. Scare it to death. I lied, I think. This one I've only had... No, that is a 20. Yeah, this one is. Bought this one when I was 15 or 16 years old, this light I've had, and it's a rechargeable one. And then I thought this one, I'd lost it. So I bought another one when I was 20. I remember, like it was off eBay. eBay was only just come about. eBay was nothing like it what it is today. Didn't have any torches in the local shop, Pound Lane Autos, so I had to go on eBay. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday, because I had Citroen Saxo 1.1, and I wanted to do some. I was always doing bits. I used to have bloody head off on a Sunday morning, you know, looking at the valves and. Oh, dearie me, yeah, what a crazy life.
Daddy,
Hello.
I need your help.
Why do you need my help?
Because
What's up?
the TV falls.
What?
The TV falls.
Right, okay. Right. Bloody hell. Oh, is that plugged in? I hope so. Yeah. Bloody minions, I tell you. Never full up. Literally had a whole pizza for dinner. Like, I went out there because the TV, he just pressed the wrong button. He's trying to watch bloody Sooty and Sweep. And he pressed pause. Anyway. So, full pizza for dinner. Goes, I'm hungry. What do you mean you're hungry? He literally had a medium pizza. And I knew one of them frozen ones from blooming Iceland. Pound, you know. One of them. I'm hungry. You had a whole pizza about a quarter of an hour ago, do you know what I mean? Oh! Popped in. Hey! Oh, no, spoke too soon. There we go. Oh, John, quick. Quick, John, quick. Right. Put the screws in. And, yeah. I mean, there are methods that people go on about testing these boxes, none of which I'm interested in at all. You know, putting a drill on it, I'm doing all this. It's a lot of messing around. I don't... Oh, no. 20 years old, look. Something's... Oh. I've broken it. Oh, look, a little bit of... I think it still works, though. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. Forgot what I was talking about now. Something. But anyway, I don't know what's happened with that. Perhaps while I was gone, the ghost has... There is ghosts around. They've... perhaps he's put that in or whatever he's done, but... Anyway. Forgot what I was talking about completely now. Oh yeah, methods of testing it. Yeah, I mean the other thing you can do, because it will change gear when the wheels are off the ground. So you could have it like, I could start it up now on this toolbox and I could rev it up and it would change gear. So I would know if it's changing. You can hear it as well, so I would know. So you can do that as well. But listen, bloody hell, I mean, just put it together and go and drive it, and even you don't really, and I know some of you are probably going to disagree, but you don't even need to take that cluster out to take the grub screw out to put the thread lock on. If you're brave enough, well, I say if you're brave enough, I mean the worst case, if you drop that grub screw, if you haven't got them, if your grub screw falls off the end of your driver and goes inside the box, worst case scenario, you got to take it apart anyway. So listen, give it a go. Just do it with that. But you ain't got to take it apart. I mean, that's the beauty of them, you know. Properly well made cars. Right. we're all bored to death now, so I'm not gonna fanny around anymore. I'm gonna put this roll cage and everything back on, and then we'll have a little chat about some more rubbish, and then I'll be off. By the way, I probably should mention it because a lot of people are extremely lazy these days, and a lot of you started using electronic tools. Right? Now, the thing is, because these are nice, strong metal screws going into plastic, right? The strong metal screws going into plastic casing, you know. So, what's going to win? The screw's going to win. So the best thing, I mean, a lot of you say, oh, I'll only do it up a little bit and I'll do the rest by hand. Trouble is, it's alright if you know you've got that kind of self-control and you're not a stupid dingbat. But, you know, sometimes we just get a little bit carried away, press that little button a little bit too much, and before you know it, you've gone and, you know, you've stripped it out. I mean, this is a metal screw or bolt and it's going into plastic, so just use a hand tool. Stop being so lazy and use a hand tool, yeah? Plus they're a lot cheaper than an electric one. If you go out and buy an electric one, you're going to be spending hundreds of pounds. Just go and buy a pack of these things, don't know what this was, 20 quid, away you go. Or if you buy some decent MIP ones, yeah, you're spending a bit more money, but they last you a lifetime. To be fair, these have lasted me about, I don't know, about 12 years so far. Probably. Got to be, I suppose. I don't ever use them, to be fair, so that's why they've lasted so long. But I've had them for that long. Anyway, yeah, I always use these ones. Well, I don't use that one. That one snapped off. But anyway, that's that done. So now that should be, all I've got to do is charge up the receiver, because it ran out earlier on in this video, didn't it? Which was days and days ago, but in this video it ran out of power. Charge that up, and then we'll go out and give it another run. You lot now have seen exactly what I've done, so it should work minty perfect. But just going to go and wash my hands, and then we'll have a look through this instructional manual. Right, so let's just quickly go through this, because, you know, I think you can literally, there is no excuse for not knowing or not being able to learn anything about your Savage, because everything is documented very well in these instruction manuals. Now, obviously, it's a good idea to look up things, and on my channel I try my best to help you all out as much as possible. And don't forget, Wheelspin Models, they've also got very good customer service, and if you really wanted to, you can take your car to them and they'll do it for you. I know, unbelievable. But listen, between you and me, you can do anything. You can do anything. And with the help of this manual, what comes with this car, you have to pay any more money for this. Comes with it a standard, right? In the box. Tells you how to oil up your air filter. Tells you how to do your fuel piping. Tells you how to do your clutch bell. It literally tells you everything. It tells you about temperatures, look. Here, look, temperatures. Tells you how hot your engine should be. Optimum temperature, too cold, this and that. Tells you how to adjust your needles. Yeah. It recommends using a temp gun, which I think is not, you know me by now. I think if your fingers can't tell you that that's too hot or it's too cold, then you know you need to go and really reevaluate your life decisions. But look, running in tells you how to run your car in. You know, it just tells you how to start it. And then if you carry on going, look, you got exploded kind of diagrams that tells you how to put shock oil in. You know, there's your gearbox. What's that? A tells you how to do all your diffs. All the part numbers are there, look, all the little part numbers. Everything in these manuals, right? There's your transmitter, how to bind it, how to use it, the trims, everything. Yeah? There's your carburetor, tells you all the parts of a carburetor, tells you, look, that's where it says idle adjustment. It's American wording, but it does the job for us. Obviously, you can't expect them to print a manual for every country, so they just put it in American English because America's bigger than England, and then they use German and other languages underneath. But we can understand what they mean. Look, proper idle speed, improper idle speed. Everything you need to know how to take your engine apart. Look, tells you how to take your engine apart, tells you how to do your carburetor, every single part. I think you've got the gist of what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so you can do anything. There's no need to make excuses. All right, get yourself a Savage. Yeah, you've got your manual that comes with it. That's your backup. That's your fallback. Yeah, you can do anything. Remember that. I'll catch you lot on the next one. Don't take people for granted. Don't let other people take you for granted, because you're the best. Alright? You are. You can do anything. Just remember that. I'll see you later.